All right, hello everybody. Just wanted to welcome everybody to Chatmosa Growth. This is our weekly session here at Chatmosa where we chat about growth here on and kind of build the Chatmosa product in public, which is pretty excited. I'm David Croncha. I am the product person here at Chatmosa. Like I said, each week we get together, get the Chatmosa team together here and have a kind of a casual conversation of our week, what we've lessons learned. I know what we've done, what we haven't done. We also invite our users. So super excited. We've got Nish here, who is actual user of Chatmosa. So that's super exciting. So let's do a quick round robin. Camille, Sandra, Auntie, and then Nish. Say hi.
Hi, everyone. My name is Camille. I'm the CEO of Chatmosa and also a podcaster.
There, nice. There you
Yay.
go. Yay. Sandra,
Oh, wait,
you.
wait. I should say if I say I'm a podcaster, it's
Yeah.
between doctors and friends.
Yes, on Chatmosa, the podcast between doctors and friends. Absolutely. Sandra, are you there?
Barely. I'm
Yeah,
here.
barely. Sandra had
That's
a
how it is on a Friday
I
for us.
know.
nutty week fixing
I
bugs.
totally. I'm Sandra. I'm head of tech, CTO here at Chatmosa, and my head's always buried with code. So I'm going to go on mute now.
Up. Sandra's
Fix
gonna
it.
multitask. Fix.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's got some
her
tickets there.
her alias is Claudette. Fix it. Fix
There
it.
you go. And our head of product, say hi, Auntie
Oh,
Derek.
head of growth.
Better growth.
Hello, everyone. Just like you said, I'm Auntie Derek, head of growth for
Yeah.
Chatmosa. So, hello, everyone. I'm happy to and just really excited to talk about some new products that we have today.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, head of growth there, Auntie Derek. Thanks for that. And then our actual customer, so excited. Nish, say hi. Tell us what you're
Hello.
doing on Chatmosa.
Well, thank you so much. If it wasn't, oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Um, well, if it wasn't for Chatmosa, I wouldn't um be a podcaster now, because it, it just seemed like it was so hard to get started anywhere. I mean, I was talking earlier with the group about editing short films. I've done two so far,
mhm.
and one, I did prior to starting with Chatmosa. But when I was thinking about it, I was thinking, wow, I would love to do a regular show because there are things that I'd like to share with people and talk about. And so Chatmosa was the thing because I could just do it one time on Chatmosa, and that podcast gets fed to all the major podcast platforms. I mean, there's a couple that, I might have to put up manually, but that's not too much. And, I'm just very amazed at the tools that you've you've rolled out for us to have, like social media posts and the AI generated description, which comes out very well, I would say. I think that your use of AI is very appropriate. There you go.
Yeah, that's good. So, some of the things that lessons learned, right?
Mhm.
It was probably daunting to try to figure out. Oh, I want to have my own podcast, right?
Yeah,
Everybody says you got to buy equipment and da da da, da, and it's just the overload, right, Nish?
right. I mean, it's like, maybe I'm not going to do that.
Especially coming
E-
from like editing, right? Editing
Oh, I
video.
know. I'll
Like,
just put
no.
up TikTok videos. Okay, that's good enough. All right.
Exa-
Mhm.
Exactly. So yeah, I think one of the main things, and you brought it up, Nish, is that we're really trying to make this easy, easy peasy podcasting, as we actually say here at
Mhm.
Mosa. Is that's the key? Is trying to make it as easy as possible for folks that maybe aren't technical, but it is hard. And I'm just kind of posting a link to one of your last podcast sessions that you created there, Nish.
Mhm.
which is really, really good. And talk about a little bit to explain to us what the concept is with your podcast.
Well, niches, which is the what I call my podcasts, and the reason for that title is that I'm going to be talking about many different subjects, and what comes to mind for me. I've done a series on grief. I've done a few interviews. Right now I'm doing a series on the opposite of bad. The first episode of that series was the opposite of bad is beauty, and now this latest episode is opposite of bad is peace, and I intend on doing a new opposite of bad later this weekend. So but the reason for this particular series is that we're still going through some terrible times, all right? And sometimes the only thing you can think about is bad, all right? But I want to help people stop thinking about bad even for a minute, okay? And give them a few reasons to be peaceful, to find some happiness and joy, and feel some calm and comfort in their life. And that's the purpose of this particular series.
And we all definitely need that. And then, that's one of the goals here at Chatmosa, right? Is to give people a voice. Maybe, because everybody's yelling, give people a voice. So that's kind of the key. And it's really great that you're doing that. Okay, Nish, thanks for kind of giving us an overview as to what you're working on and how you're using Chatmosa. That's super, super helpful.
Of course.
Yeah, so let's do a round robin on Camille.
Yeah,
Camille's been heads down on multiple things.
I think what's great about one thing I have to comment about Chatmosa that sometimes some people overlook is that we started in live real time communication, and so when Nish will opens up her recording studio, I can actually kind of hop in and chit chat with her either before or after, which is kind of fun. I know I do this with Auntie. Um, and Chatmosa allows you to have that real time discussion, and then separate from the recording. Then you could record, and after you record, you can still continue chatting and debrief. Sometimes it's those post chats that are actually kind of um, fulfilling as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's all about
Yep.
kind of communication, which is the key. And yeah, the post chats is kind of a big thing also, right?
Yeah, I get to say hi to Nish and catch up with her.
Yeah,
If I can catch her.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great.
And this
I
is
know.
only if they open it up, because you could have a session and keep it private. No one knows. But if you open it up.
I have like a private 24-hour, 24/7 session that I just send people, whether I'm on my phone or whatever, and they want to talk, I just send them the link because it's so much easier just to go into a private session than talk on the and talk within a private session. So that's actually a really good use case.
Yeah, it's kind of like I mentioned the word studio. Yeah, you have your own studio and you have sessions, different sessions in your studio. So.
That's a good way to put it. I mean that it is kind of like your studio. What comes to mind to me, because I'm old school. I mean, I know y'all from Ultimate TV. All right, and I was working for, at the time, it was iMarker, the former Westinghouse Broadcasting. And do you remember that, David, when I think the first project you guys did for me for Ultimate TV might have been Dr. Joy Brown.
Oh goodness!
It was
I'm not
Dr.
sure.
Joy.
Or
It was.
Pensacola. Or
I think
Pensacola.
It was Dr. Joy.
It was Dr. Joy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we go way back.
Let's put it. I think that's way back there,
Yeah,
Nish.
that's way back.
Dr.
You know,
Joy. Whoa.
like I have to say, like Auntie does daily shows in his studio, right?
Mhm.
Um, the Monday recording doesn't even start after like an hour. It's like an hour of chit chatting, you know,
Yeah.
Mm.
and before the recording starts, which is kind of interesting and kind of fun. So yeah, really, you could have get, what is it, David? Like, build your studio, start your studio on Chatmosa
Build your
and
studio. Yeah.
do your sessions, because when it comes to studio, um, I don't know. Should we talk about this new feature that Sandra is
Yeah, we should
has been
definitely
heads
do that.
down?
I don't know, Auntie,
I don't
if you
know.
Sneak
can, if
peek.
Auntie Derek can talk, but I did put up yesterday's Auntie Derek's daytime tea there, Auntie. Um, that you're doing a daily show and building community with the show. So,
Yeah, so like he's interviewing someone who can't do it during the daytime,
mhm.
but because it's his own show, like Nish, it's her own show.
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? For this interview, let's do one this Friday night.
Yep.
So if you are
Mhm.
listening to this on a Friday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Coast, 9 p.m. East Coast time, he's
Exactly.
doing a show, and people, we even said like, we'll come, we'll attend.
Mhm.
It doesn't always have to be, although in the morning, uh, Auntie didn't have his morning show this morning, and everyone's just like, where is the show?
Yeah, it's
um,
really a great way to build a community, and also Auntie is weaving in,
yeah,
cause-based
yeah,
breast
and
awareness, cause-based tips, and donations.
yeah. Last
Mhm.
week, we hosted LA Tech LA Tech Week for the first time, and what was really resounding was the consistency, how important that consistency is.
Yeah.
Um, the consistency with the audience is something that the audience can rely on, right?
Mhm.
So if you have your morning news every morning at a certain time, that if you stopped it, uh, many audience kind of like they don't know whether you kind of quit or not. But
Right.
I see that consistency is important, and I think that's why with Auntie Derek's show started with a few people, and now it's more.
Hmm.
It's because it's just consistent to the point. I think he's even toying with like, I am not gonna remind you guys and give you the link anymore.
Yeah.
Um, you,
You
you
know when
know,
to get here.
you know what time, and I
Yeah.
think that goes back. I want to point out to Nish is actually a great case study. Her podcast is Nish's Niche, and sometimes people don't know how to spell it. And I had kind of whispered to Nish. I said, get nishpodcast.com as your URL. Um,
Yes, that's good advice. And
right?
I can that way I can promote, my podcast is at nishpodcast.com. And I could change the name or the title of the podcast or whatever it is anytime I want to, but I
Hmm.
still tell people to go to nishpodcast.com
Yeah,
to find it. I could call it, cat's gone crazy, who
yeah,
cares? You know, but it's always going to be nishpodcast.com.
Got
yeah.
it.
That's where you'll find it.
And I think for those that are considering doing a podcast, um, it's the same thing when the .com started. You want to come up with a name that you could say over the phone or
Hmm.
Audible or in your podcast,
Hmm.
that people will understand easily and can spell it. Because as opposed to, and I think that's where David, when you think like Nish as well, the phone number versus a vanity number,
Hmm.
Hmm.
because people, especially that podcast is international, it's global.
Right.
When you come up with that name, come up with some, simple words that people could easily, type and look up.
Mm-hmm.
Come up with something that um, definitely do your homework. You could even use AI for this. Does this name already exist as a podcast?
Right.
So try not
Exactly.
to mix that with an already existing podcast, or else they won't find you.
Mm-hmm.
And then what Nish did, Auntie did, I mean, I did it with my podcast, is also you want to buy the domain, because
Mm-hmm.
then it's a domain. The domain is like the .com that you
Right.
can promote and say, just go to nishpodcast.com.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to spell Nish is niche,
Hmm. Well,
uh,
you know what? It's funny because people spell my name like niche,
yes,
like Niche. All
yes,
Mhm.
right. I said no, it's niche is like fish with an N.
there you go.
Niche is the when you're looking at a narrow subject, that's a
Yeah,
niche.
yeah.
But it's niches because I have more than one subject that I'm talking about, but since niches kind of rhymes with niche, that's why it's there. Now, here's one thing I do want to mention here. Like you see my banner across the top, it's not very clean. And I
Oh, Nish, you're bringing up a sore subject here
okay,
with the
well,
with
yes,
the
it's a very
team.
sore subject because you don't know how many times I had to re-save
Oh
that
boy.
banner to get it to that point in different sizes
Yeah,
and this and that. And
yeah.
so,
I think
Camille
that
has an
banner,
update
yeah,
on this.
yeah. I think that
okay,
banner. I would suggest to use a graphic that's just kind of more of a texture graphic, not without the logo. Without the logo, because that banner is kind of like a cover that goes from edge to edge of your width. So if
right.
someone's looking at it on the big screen, it stretches. You
Hmm.
know, someone's looking at it in a mobile device, it doesn't stretch. But yeah, that's something that we have. David has kind of like pointed out to me that I'm like,
But there was a bug, Nish, where we have two options where you can upload your banner and what's there when you share that link with Facebook and other social media, it shows that
Hmm.
image.
Okay.
But and then Camille and Sandra did fix that this week. But
Oh,
as
yeah.
you can see, that URL that you have, right? Your URL, nishpodcast.com, will go to your profile page, which is kind of like your own personal page. So you don't really have to have a website. You can just use this like you are.
yeah,
Yes. This is
That's
what I
the
tell
cool thing.
people.
And it
Hmm.
shows, who you are. It shows your latest podcast session that you've had, who you are. And this is kind of the link tree. The beauty of it is showing you can add in as many links as you want, and then your
Hmm.
previous sessions, which is pretty cool. So having this page is really great.
Yes, I agree. I'm glad that I can just refer people to nishpodcast.com. In fact, I'm just using this,
Mhm.
like, what's your website? It's nishpodcast.com. It's like I don't
Yeah.
need to have a separate site, really.
Yeah,
you know,
make it as easy as possible. That's the key.
exactly.
So that's
Exactly.
cool. Thanks for that feedback. Okay, Camille, yeah, you
mm,
mentioned LA Tech Week. That was last Saturday.
wow, yeah,
And
that was
that was quite something, wasn't it? Because the challenge with everybody, if you do click on this link there on what we call the Jumbotron, you'll
Hmm.
see that we did record it, and it's a hybrid event. We both had it. We had it both as a virtual session on Chatmosa and in person at the Chatmosa office in El
That
Segundo,
was that
California,
was
which was,
cool.
well, it
Hmm.
was very, I don't know I think it was very challenging from a technical perspective.
yeah, it was challenging. You would think that we would be challenged by video, but video was like no big deal, But it was just the audio that was, a challenge to us. Um, but we made it happen, right?
Yeah.
I think communicating with each other, we're used to, like, you kind of like, message each other quietly. But during a live show, David and Sandra would signal me, and I'm just like, I don't know what you're saying. We're like, we need a whiteboard. We need a little whiteboard and write your note there.
You either have to have an earpiece in, or like you have cue card things, like
Yeah,
you're that's sending the message that way.
yeah.
If you were in television in the olden days, then you know how to
And then
get your
yeah, and then we have
messages.
Jason, who probably like he does this like professionally for so many decades, and he's like, I don't know what you guys are doing.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Jason Ball. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
I
podcast.
recall that name, like when I was in TV,
Mhm.
and I think I've either spoken with him before or have had some. I can't really jar my full
yeah.
memory on that, but I'm pretty sure I remember working with him in some fashion way
Well,
back in the day.
well, we'll leave it there, David.
Yeah,
What
we
happened
will.
after? Leave it in this page. What happened after Tech Week is we had someone that came in person, and everyone that came in person, it was just so nice to connect with them. We actually spoke for like a good hour after, and then thanks to Auntie, Auntie hosted and warmed people up online, on Chatmosa.
Yeah.
But uh, there's a lady who's a podcaster, and she came in. Actually, if David, if you go back to the Chatmosa that page,
Sure.
um, your session is, I had mentioned before, this becomes your landing page. This becomes like your blog page. This becomes like your Substack, page. Uh, she made a video of her experience with Chatmosa. And what's nice is after the event, me as the host of that event, I was able to edit the description, and I was able to embed her video. Wait, we have, go back to the
Oh,
landing page, David. Don't play the video yet. Go back to the landing page. Um, and
I
these are the things
remember
that
that
you can
lady.
do. After the event, things that happen, you could, keep populating your landing page and give, more links, promote whoever spoke about it. That way, people that missed out on the event or listening to it on a podcast found you, listens to you on Spotify or iTunes. They could come to your page
Yeah.
and see those videos. And then,
Wow.
with Chatmosa, because we do this AI, this recap, which, for us, one of our thing was this is just automated. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
we'll allow you to edit that recap because,
Hmm.
AI is not that smart. Uh, Call us something else. But it's also a good fun way to kind of read, what really happened.
Hmm.
Um, and then for me, I think Monday when I came to the office, came to work, I was able to message everyone who attended remotely on the Chatmosa site and thank them and follow up with them.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience. That was a good lesson.
Yeah, I think it was a really good lesson. Especially, being able to meet people locally and getting everybody in person to talk.
Hmm.
And also having virtual Jason Ball, uh, he was virtual, using the Jumbotron for him to speak. So I
Hmm.
think it was really, really great. So
And a few post things, David. You had to clean up the video,
yeah, I
right?
had to go in and kind of edit the video, and oh
Mm,
my goodness. I mean, that's
really?
one thing here at Chatmos is that we're really gonna work on making things easy. Like editing is so hard.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camille, how hard is it? Camille's actually doing a family video. How hard, Camille?
What's hard about it is these are big files. I know Auntie, who's here, his shows are 2 hours long. So, you're dealing with like a 2 GB file that you download. And if you were to edit it using whatever software, and then it has to recompile, and then you have to re-upload it, right? And I know that's what happens with other, podcasters right now. That's what they're doing. So, for us, it's good to feel that pain, to see it. Although you could download, your recording and then
Mhm.
edit it and then upload a better version.
Yeah, it's
Um,
super, super hard. I mean, we're just we're going to work on making it easy to
Yeah.
clip and clean
So
up automatically and all that good stuff. So
yeah.
yeah,
Cool.
I
So we
know.
have we have something up our sleeve so that you don't have to download it, and you just like really in our kind of a mission of easy peasy.
Mm-hmm.
You could just easy peasily do it. Uh,
That's cool.
right?
I can't wait. I mean, I really cannot wait.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. When is this happening?
Well, as
Sandra.
soon as you finish, Sandra.
Yeah.
Okay? As soon as you finish.
And,
Okay, I tried. All right, I tried.
in a tech company, it's really a juggle between fixing bugs and then working on new features.
Yes. Oh, I
Fixing
totally,
bug, working on new features. Fixing bugs, working on new features. So I said, Sandra, you can't work on this new feature until you fix the bugs.
I know. All right.
So
Speaking of new features, Camille,
yeah,
big week on everybody's plate here at Chatmosa.
yeah, new features. We released it quietly last week. We're observing any bugs, any adjustments. Uh, our paid users and our non-paid users, our podcasters and just regular members of Chatmosa, um, can now uh, have products to uh, receive tips and perhaps create a subscription, right? Uh, the paid users, they have a little bit more feature. Of course, there's kind of a cool thing for them is they could have a mailing list, like a free mailing list. Subscribe to me, and we'll be releasing the email portion of it so that you can email anyone who is supporting you. So you could remind them, I'm having an event tomorrow or whatever, and FYI. And then what's already been existing is you could email people that have attended your other shows in the past. Um, Auntie, I think David, maybe you could show in the Jumbotron Auntie's website. Now the only thing is that you must link your account to Stripe. By doing that, it kind of takes care of all these you know legal and tax things, and Stripe will verify that you are a real person, that um, you're legit. And once Stripe verifies you, you could turn on your products. So in the Jumbotron, David's going to share Auntie's. Auntie, everyone gets a profile page. And so you'll see here that now on Auntie's site, because he verified his Stripe, he activated some of his product. Now there's a subscribe piece. Go ahead and click on that. Auntie only turned on the free subscription, so you don't have to be a member of Chatmosa to subscribe to Auntie. That will be Auntie's email list, mailing list. And then you can also click on the upper left, David. Click on products.
Yeah.
That little breadcrumb. So the products page kind of shows all the products. And then if you want to tip Auntie, whether there's an event or not, because you just like all the work that he's been doing, you could tip him. Just be careful of that $5,000 tip, okay?
No, don't be careful. Give me a $5,000 tip.
And I'll say it here. I'll say it for people that don't want to read our terms. Refund is possible, but that's minus the transaction fee.
Right.
But
Auntie, we were going to click on this one. What do you think? The $5,000 tip, Auntie. What do you think? If you can talk.
Yeah, Auntie's internet is traveling.
Go on. That's fine.
He might be getting
ready. No, that's fine. That's amazing.
Right? Yeah. And the nice thing is, what we like, just like the signing in, right? The signing in is breaks down the barriers of social media. But now you could pay Auntie using your typical credit card, but you could pay Auntie with your Amazon, your Google Pay,
Hmm.
your Samsung Pay account, I think your Apple Pay,
Yeah.
Cash App, Venmo. I mean, those two things, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't use Cash App, I don't use Venmo, so it's a generation gap. So when I have people
Yeah.
go, I have an open tip jar. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm sorry, I can't because I don't use those things. But with
Yep.
Chatmosa, we kind of opened it up. Um, we're shy of, we didn't turn on, I think it's like AliExpress or Gcash and
Hmm.
crypto. We didn't turn that on.
Okay.
But we want you to be able to, your supporters to be able to pay you in, whatever payment system they're comfortable in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's exciting to us.
It
Yeah. The
is.
monetization, right? Allowing tipping, allowing subscriptions is really important
Yes.
here, right? And also just, having these on your profile page as far as the tips and also subs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, so someone, we have users that they're not podcasters, but they support podcasts. They're probably co-hosts. They're not hosts. They're the co-hosts, or they're
Mm-hmm.
just listeners. And we want to give them that ability to also receive, um, earn revenue.
Yeah.
Receive tips. Um, that's kind of our something for us. Is very exciting because
Yeah.
that aligns with our goal to help creators monetize. Not
Yes.
right.
Right.
Yep. So that's with the tip and the subscriptions, and then if you do create a new session, you can add a kind of a charge as to charging people to get into a session. So that's another
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
option, right?
And also the other one that we haven't really we're not really promoting or mentioning because it's quiet. We're kind of observing it. Is after your session, you could actually paywall the content, the
Hmm.
recording, or the content that you put in the landing page, or the content that you've shared in the jumbotron. You can either lock it up or paywall it. Like if you want to
Mm-hmm.
see what was discussed or whatnot, it would you have to pay. Now,
Right.
when you do this, that session or that episode, that recording, it will not be distributed to the major podcasting platform because they don't have that ability, to
Right.
lock it up.
They have to come to Chatmosa
Hmm.
to watch it. So let's say it's something like, I think this is a great idea because let's say I wanted to do therapy sessions, like the grief series that I did. Well, maybe I continue that, but now it's a deeper dive, right? So if people want to go to the next session after they've uh, watched, my uh, top, my beginning grief sessions, but now the next level, I want to charge for access to it, then I could do it like that, right?
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could. Since the beginning, you could always paywall participating on a live, on a
Mm-hmm.
live session. So that's typically great for um, for consultants, for therapists, for classes, for
Mm-hmm.
courses,
Mm-hmm.
um, for the live one. But if you said, okay, we really discussed like really good, valuable information,
Mm-hmm.
and the session, the recording is over, the recording is done, or maybe you didn't even record anything, but it's things that's on the jumbotron. Yeah, you could lock it up afterwards. You could actually turn it on afterwards and say if you want it, you've got to pay
Mm-hmm.
for it. Yes.
Right. Okay.
All
So if
right.
I record it as a private, like don't don't broadcast it, and then after it's finished, then I put it in the paywall. I
You
set
can do that as well.
okay.
You could do it. So there's the live, the recording
Hmm.
piece, the live one, and
Right.
there's the post. What happens after,
Right. Okay.
right? So yeah, you
Got
can. It's something that we found to be, some sessions are actually really good, good information. So I can give myself an example. Like I'll teach coding, um,
Mm,
and if I recorded that, it's open to whoever wants to, participate.
right.
But maybe I'll record it, but it's not a podcast, meaning I don't want it on Spotify or YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
but so much good content has been shared. So after the event, after I end that session, I can then paywall it. I could put, if you want to
Mm-hmm.
see what was.
If you want to learn, then you
Mhm.
can pay this to learn.
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, cool.
So maybe
Yeah, that's really exciting.
giving our creators no excuse not to make money, right?
Yeah, that's the key.
Be creative.
Exactly. Well, I think we've covered a lot, and the just that feature alone we could go on for hours on it, but it's super exciting to
Yeah.
see the whole monetization, because normally, that's not really thought in. It's bolted on later on, the whole thought of how to help creators generate money. So
Yeah.
cool. Well, I think we're going to bring this session to a close, or a Chatmosa growth session today, and appreciate Nish you joining us, and everybody
Yes.
else.
Thanks, Nish.
Of
Thanks
course.
for
Well,
the
thank
feedback.
you for
Exactly.
inviting me. And you know what?
Yeah,
I'm excited for the next level of growth.
Right.
All
exactly.
right.
So that's Nish, N for Nancy. Nish, Nish podcast.com.
.com. There you
Yes,
go.
right.
And you can subscribe, when Nish is ready, you could subscribe to Nish so
Yep.
she can
That's
make an
right. Well, I have
announcement on
to
her next.
finish that Stripe thing, right?
Yeah, yeah,
First. Okay.
yeah. That's
All
that's
right.
Let's get
step
it up.
one.
All right.
And Auntie too. You could subscribe to Auntie.
Okay.
Yep.
Very
Good.
good.
All right, you guys. Thanks
Okay,
again.
thank
All
you.
right.
All right,
Thank
thanks.
you,
Have a great
David,
weekend.
Camille,
Great weekend,
and
everyone.
Sandra. All
Yep.
right. Take
Take care,
Bye,
care.
guys.
Nish.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.